Anyway, let's move on. And let's get into this Tyra Banks story. So Tyra Banks recently was on this, what was it, NBC this morning, and basically was talking about the Bodyguard remake. So y'all do know, if y'all don't know now, you know, there is a Bodyguard remake in the works. And Tyra Banks has come to the conclusion who she would like to see play the Rachel Marin role, which, you know, was Whitney Houston's role. And then you had the Kevin Costner role, who was the Bodyguard. So she said Taylor Swift, she want to see her in the role that was made famous by Whitney Houston. And she wants Idris Elba in the Kevin Costner role. So it was reported on Friday, April 11th, that the new version of the iconic 1992 romance that starred Whitney and Kevin Costner is in development, with Sam Wrench, the director of 2023 Taylor Swift The Eras Tour concert movie, set to direct. And while discussing the news on Today with Jenna and Friends, guest co-host Banks told Jenna Bush Hager that Swift should lead the new film. About who would take on the Houston role for a famous pop star who falls in love with her bodyguard, Banks suggested, I think Taylor Swift, because business and commerce art, she would freaking sell like crazy. But okay, I'm just going to be real. I'm a black girl. It was Whitney Houston as a black girl, Kevin Costner as a white man. What if we flipped it and it was Taylor Swift and Idris Elba? Hot. Now, Banks added that she's actively trying to make a movie with Elba at the moment. We're like, and she said, quote, we're like, what's that, friends, right now? I'm like, are you down? He's like, yeah, Banks. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. I feel like we should do like the romance thing. Well, I know Tyra Banks is an act, well, she acts sometimes. And I'm like, but has Tyra Banks done any kind of acting that's like memorable? I can't think of it. Look, y'all even, I was so mad, even though the movie was terrible, but she was in Halloween Resurrection. They killed her off screen. I'm like, damn, I would have loved to have seen her death. We basically just saw her in the camera where she was hung by Michael Myers. So we never got to see her get murdered. Now, Bush Hager was 43 asked, why won't you be in the Bodyguard? To which Banks says, hell no, we need somebody who could really sing. Because remember when Tyra came out with that song, Shake Your Body? No shade, but that was a bop. I don't know. Okay, who had the boppiest of bop songs? Was it her or Kim Kardashian? The most auto-tune bop. I would go with Tyra because "Shake Your Body" that was an iconic track, and I used to bop to that song. So, and that's no shade. Now, the Bodyguard starred late. Well, we already know she played Rachel Marin, and then she was stalked by a crazy fan, and then she hired a former Secret Service agent named Frank Farmer as her security. Now, Elba, who had a clip of his voice sampled on Swift's song London Boy from her 2019 album Lover, and Swift both starred in the 2019 movie musical Cats along with James Corden, Judi Dench, Rebel Wilson, even Jason Derulo was in that, and Screamer for Hudson. So Kevin Costner also, when he turned 70 in January, he marked his birthday by remembering his former Bodyguard co-star Houston, who died in 2012 at age 48. This photo reminds me of how lucky I am to be getting another birthday. We lost such a light when we lost Whitney. I had forgotten that she was 48 when she passed. What is she now, like 65? I think she's about the same age as Michael and Madonna and Prince and all. They're all in the same age range. So look, I'll say this. I don't know if I'm on board with Tay Tay taking on an iconic role originated by the legendary Whitney Houston. I did come up with a couple of people that I thought might be interesting to choose from in regards of who should play the part. I thought, at first, Lady Gaga, but she's already done 2 films where she had to sing. So she was in A Star is Born. I would say if she didn't do A Star is Born, then that would have been perfect to cast her in this movie. And then, of course, she did Joker 2 Fully. I do. And I do think that she would kill it in this film. However, it feels a little too close to home, even though it's kind of like a thriller. I guess the only difference would be she's a pop star and she can come up with all the music for the album. And she wouldn't do like what Whitney was doing. She would have to come up with like that perfect, like that pop persona. But then again, like I said, it will be a little too close to home. It's like, how do you portray that? So my other choice would have been Naomi Scott, but then, she would be compared to her performance in Smile too. So that's out. I also thought Rachel Ziegler, but she's so despised at the moment regarding her comments about Palestine and the changes made in Snow White, so I don't know if we should go with that. Y'all don't throw tomatoes at me, but I did throw in Jennifer Lopez. I was like, look, Jennifer is an actress. She sings and dances, regardless of how y'all feel about her vocals. She does sing. She gets in the booth, she lays down her tracks. They do a little yang, a little nip and tuck to the vocals, and she goes about her merry way. And she gets out there and gives a show. So I would like to see Jennifer do the Bodyguard, but I know y'all hating behinds will get all over social media and be like, hell no, I want to see Jennifer Lopez. All the way. Who they gonna get to sing for her? Shanti? Like I hear it all. So I guess we can just have to spare Jennifer. But then again, when I guess y'all see Kiss of the Spider Woman, which is getting rave reviews, then maybe y'all will change y'all tune. So there was two that I kind of boiled down to. I was like, maybe they would be good to be in the part. I did think Ariana Grande. But then again, when you have Ariana Grande go up against Idris Elba, Idris Elba will probably snap that girl in two, especially if they got to do a sex scene. Because she would have to fall in love with somebody. So you might have to make him younger. I would say if you want to go younger, maybe do like Ariana and Michael B. Jordan. I would say like maybe those could be, if y'all want to flip the script, you want to make it a white girl and a black guy. Because here's the thing, when it comes to the Bodyguard, I do not feel that the singer has to be black. The movie basically is about a pop star who hires a bodyguard, a former agent, to protect her from a crazy stalker. So they don't necessarily have to have a black girl. Just make sure you have somebody who can do both, who can act and who can sing. And if people get all upset or whatever, look. And if the movie turns out to be trash, we have the original movie that we can look back to. But then they got to come up with a new song because we don't need another damn cover of "I Will Always Love You." Like none of them can be touched. You got Dolly Parton with the original version, and Whitney wound up taking that song and giving it a whole new life. So we need y'all to come up with a new song. Leave "I Will Always Love You" alone. We don't need a cover. So leave it, please. But if you can't get Ariana Grande, I was thinking maybe Screamer for Hudson. So those are my two choices that I'm boiling down to. But I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? And who do you think should be in the new Bodyguard remake? Me personally, I can't see Taylor Swift. I understand what Tyra's saying because Tay is a big name. She's a huge pop star. She can get a lot of butts and seats. I don't know for how long, but she could definitely get butts and seats, especially with the music. But I don't know how that transitions to the movie world, especially when you come from a place of you did Cats, you know, these other little situations. And those movies, that wasn't enough to get people to come see the movie. It's like people who buy music and go and support music is different than the whole movie world. So I can't see Taylor Swift doing it. But I definitely feel like she would be a name that could definitely get interest in a lot of people to come and see her in theaters. But I don't know if her fan base, the Swifties, would be there for repeat showings. So I definitely want to hear from y'all who y'all think would be good in the part if they don't go with Tay, or if they've been thinking about Miss Tay. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.